So welcome guys, myself Pankaj Kumar Fageria. I have done my BTech from Indian Institute of Technology, Roorkee in Electrical Engineering. I am from Sikkar, Rajasthan. So today here we talk about the gravitation. So gravitation. So what is gravitation? Gravitation or a gravitational force is a fundamental force ऑफ द यूनिवर्स. तो फंडामेंटल फोर्सेस क्या होते हैं? फंडामेंटल फोर्सेस होते हैं जो मेन फोर्सेस हैं जिनसे बाकी सारे जो अपन डिफरेंट फोर्सेस की बात करते हैं वो सारे आते हैं. सो मेन 4 फंडामेंटल फोर्स हैं और उन्हीं 4 फंडामेंटल फोर्सेस में से ग्रेविटेशनल एक है. तो 4 फंडामेंटल फोर्स कौन से होते हैं? अपन पहले उन चारों फंडामेंटल फोर्स के नाम देखने चलते. एक अपना हो गया ग्रेविटेशन, दूसरा अपना कौन सा हो जाएगा? इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक, तीसरा एक होता है अपनी वीक फोर्स और एक होता है स्ट्रॉन्ग फोर्स. तो ग्रेविटेशनल फोर्स जिसकी अपन यहाँ पे बात करेंगे वो होगा इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक फोर्स. होता है जब जैसे इलेक्ट्रिक और मैग्नेटिक सिस्टम्स में फोर्स लगते हैं, जैसे चुंबक हो गए उनके बीच में जो मैग्नेटिक फोर्स हो गया वो सारे फोर्स हो जाते हैं. वीक फोर्स होता है जो प्रोटॉन न्यूट्रॉन इन सब के, जो प्रोटॉन इलेक्ट्रॉन इन सब के बीच में लगता है. और जो स्ट्रॉन्ग फोर्स होता है जैसे कि नाम से है इसमें, दिस फोर्स इज द स्ट्रॉन्गेस्ट फोर्स ऑफ फ्रॉम ऑल. सो द ग्रेविटेशनल फोर्स दैट हियर वी आर टॉक अबाउट इज द weakest force in all of these forces. So what is gravitational force and how this thing come to know? So in the starting, when like in 1800s, Isaac Newton started the gravitational concept and tell people about this. इसी ड्यू टू न्यूटन के नाम पे अपन ने लाइक फोर्स, अपन जो सारे फोर्सेस हैं उनके जो है उसको भी अपन ने न्यूटन में डिनोट करते हैं. सो व्हाट इज ग्रेविटी? सो लाइक व्हेन यू थ्रो ए बॉल फ्रॉम योर हेड ऑन अपवर्ड डायरेक्शन, आफ्टर सम टाइम इट केम बैक. और लाइक इफ देयर इज एन एप्पल in a tree, it fall down to the earth. So all of these things happens due to the gravity. So gravity is the force behind all of things that happens to the like things fall down. Or like other examples of gravity is like moon or sun. You know that this moon, this is moon and this is earth. Moon do the circular path around earth. This is moon, this is earth. So moon is bounded to earth. So the gravitational force is the attraction force between two masses. So what here is, moon have some mass, also earth have some mass. So they both of them have an attraction force to each other. Moon and earth attract each other, and due to this attraction they are in a fixed state. Like due to this reason, the earth is heavier object in moon and earth, and moon is like small mass and earth is heavier mass. So due to this reason the small mass do circular or elliptical motion around earth. So here is this moon and Mars. So how these things don't come to each other? Attraction force, as we know attraction force, what attraction force do? As name says, attraction force attract these two things to each other. So due to this reason these things come close. But this not happen in the case of moon, earth, or like sun or earth problem. Sun is many times heavier compared to the earth. That's why like our earth rotates around sun every year, and year is the time that we call the when earth completes is one rotation around the moon. Okay, so these two objects, suppose that m1 m2, they attract but they don't come to each other. What happens this? So take a practical example. When you put some stone or around a string and you start rotating the string, and then after some times, like first in 1 or 2 starting rotation it didn't go to the whole circular, but after it gets a speed, minimum speed, then it goes to a fixed circular path, and the radius of path will be like the length of our string. So what happens there? At there, like that is same thing, but the only thing change is like here you are here, and this moon like object become the stone. When you start rotating like this, what you do? You put a force. That force what do? That force attract this thing and towards here, and it start rotating like this. You the velocity, अगर if a thing, anything like any object do a circular motion, then what happens? There is a force tangent. The velocity of that object at every time is tangent. So this happens to the pole or any object. So velocity of object is this in this direction, and force is in this direction. So this is the region. This force is called the centrifugal force, and due to this centrifugal force, this ball still goes to this path. Okay, so but in our earth and moon problem, what happens? There is no string, but the gravitational force work as a string, and due to this reason moon rotates around earth in a fixed path. That path is fixed, but only thing that changes like every year earth rounds around sun, and then here this earth moon goes this way. Whole things rotate each other, and each of them have a force. That force is called as gravitational force. Okay, so Isaac Newton found this force. So now come to the point where we define the definition of gravity. So what is the definition of gravity? The law of gravity says, or the law of gravity, this law says the force between force F. This force is proportional to the masses of these multiplication of masses of these two objects, and inversely proportional to the distance between the center of these objects. Okay, so this is the definition of the gravitational force. So what is this definition shows? First write it down. The law of gravity says that the force between two masses is proportional to multiplication of the masses of each object and inversely proportional to the distance between them. So what this law of gravity say? The fundamental force is proportional to m1 m2 and is also proportional to inverse of distance. So we can write the whole thing as, now अगर there is proportionality sign, we can make that proportionality sign into equal and put a constant here, and this constant is called the gravitational constant or universally gravitational constant. And by doing different types of experiment, we find the value of G is 6.67 into 10 to the power minus 11 Newton meter square per kilogram square. So this is the value. This is the constant value. At every point we put the value this. Anytime we found the law of gravitation. So okay, so this is the equation, and like we will continue this topic in the next class. Thank you guys. I think you like my presentation about gravitational force. Thank you guys.